Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook have faced a lot of controversies recently, a lot of recent scandals as well, and they have heard your concerns and they have a strategy now. They're going to try to convince you against your will that they're actually awesome. So how are they gonna do that? Well, Mark Zuckerberg, the chief executive of Facebook, signed off last month on a new initiative codenamed Project Amplify, which totally sounds something like a cyberpunk dystopia, to use Facebook's news feed, the site's most important digital real estate, to show people positive stories about the social network. No, really. They're just going to start putting more positive stories about Facebook on your Facebook feed. That's their strategy to deal with all this. The idea was that pushing pro-Facebook news items, some of them written by the company, that even makes it better. They're gonna be writing some of these and then making you look at them, would improve its image in the eyes of users, according to 3 people with knowledge. Well, yeah, I sort of assumed that's what it was. Here's the thing, this is just the most recent attempt for them to get out in front of the many scandals. And when I say many scandals, I mean a lot of things. We're gonna be talking about some of their own internal studies about the mental health impact of being on Facebook and Instagram. But also, there have been a lot of worries about the allowances for things like racist speech, vaccine misinformation, the literal organization of the insurrection in the Capitol on Facebook, preferential treatment of right-wing news outlets, preferential treatment of individuals like Diamond and Silk. You probably remember that story from last year. And so rather than do something about this, they're gonna push stories in front of you. And not just to improve the image of Facebook. Zuckerberg is also interested in his own personal image. So they also reference this, it's a great New York Times write-up. So Mr. Zuckerberg, who had become intertwined with policy issues, including the 2020 election, also wanted to recast himself as an innovator. In January, the communications team circulated a document with a strategy for distancing Mr. Zuckerberg from scandals, partly by focusing his Facebook posts and media appearances on new products. So that was back in January. So if you have been occasionally a little bit confused about some of his activity, this might be why. So for instance, when this weird ass video came out of him surfboarding with a flag, yeah, that was apparently part of this. And you remember this when Gail Simmons interviewed him in like a cartoon or whatever for some virtual reality nothing that isn't gonna impact any of your lives? No, he's an innovator, guys. It's not that he's working with Jared Kushner and Donald Trump to let them do whatever they want on the platform in exchange for not getting regulations, which is literally a recent scandal that just came out. He's an innovator. He's coming up with virtual reality doodads and stuff. I don't know, JR, do you think I'm being too harsh on him? He is an innovator after all.
Well, okay. Maybe not too hard on him, but I also don't think this is specific to you. This is just general public in general, because I approach all social media sites with a different lens. These are websites and these are people who are trying to make money. And so, why would Facebook be promoting bad things about himself, about him or about the website? They're trying to survive, they're trying to continually be one of the biggest sites ever made. So their interests are themselves. And for some reason, many of us just don't get that. Hey, if you go to the Culver City Toyota website, the website is not gonna say we fleece people when they come in for strut work. They're gonna say, we got the best prices in the city, come in and get your struts done. And then you get there, then they fleece you. So for Facebook, it's not gonna be headlines about how horrible Facebook is. It's still a company trying to make money, so they're gonna put things on their website that we think we have control over to say good things about themselves. It's a promotional thing. If you go on anybody's website, they're not gonna promote bad things about themselves. They're gonna promote good things about themselves. Difference is these websites may be selling tomatoes and produce at Ralph's, our local grocery store, and they're not gonna say, hey, our tomatoes suck. They're gonna say they're great. And you might find out they suck later when you get there. It's the same thing with Facebook. It's a company trying to make themselves look good when they actually have bad aspects that happen. And we just have to be aware enough to not believe everything they say.
100%. Although I will say, people are gonna be watching these clips and have no idea why we keep referencing Culver City. But anyway, yeah, look, they're gonna do what.
Gonna hate me.
Exactly. Gayle King. I said Gail Simmons. I don't remember why I said that. But anyway, Gayle King. Apologies. Anyway, yeah, they're gonna do what they can to try to protect their reputation. Look, there's a couple of good reasons, I guess, to still be on Facebook. It's possible you have photos from back in like 2007. That's the only place they exist. Alternatively, watching the damage report. Other than those two things, there ain't no reason to be on Facebook at this point, or any of them, honestly. Every time I press enter on a tweet, I think, why? Seriously, why? But anyway, let's talk about some of the other negative impacts that have been revealed recently. So Wall Street Journal did this great report, a couple different stories that are available in the Wall Street Journal, looking into some of the internal analyses that Facebook has done on what impact being on its platforms has on a bunch of different types of people, especially teen girls. So they found a slide from one Facebook presentation back in 2019 that said, quote, "We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls." Another read, "Teens blame Instagram for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression." And they zeroed in on selfies, particularly filtered ones that allow users to touch up their faces. Quote, "Sharing or viewing filtered selfies in stories made people feel worse." Because of course they did. Now, they're not stopping that. They're not stopping that at all. But they do know and have known for a couple of years the mental health toll in terms of body image and all of that, anxiety and depression that being these platforms will have on people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if they knew it beforehand, but as we already know, they can study and figure these things out. But again, it's from their perspective. It's like not their problem, dude. Like if you think there's not gonna be a new site that filters the way people see things, it's not gonna pop up and makes people happy to see themselves in different light or a different filter in this case, it'll be there. So they're like, hey, we see how it affects people, but it's just not our job to fix people. And to a degree, maybe we need some kind of help or some kind of assistance or some kind of resources that are available for people to not have to think their life really does exist on Instagram. Because I enjoy all these sites. Actually, I really hate Facebook, but I enjoy many of these sites. And I'm so far still holding off on TikTok, but it's a whole thing where it's just, if you see what you're getting yourself into and understand it for what it is, you can be okay, but there's just too many younger folks that just don't. It's too important. It's all they've seen. It's all they've known in their lives. So
yeah, we're gonna go into a few more of these, but really fast. I use Facebook a tiny little bit. I used to use the Messenger or whatever, but like, now I do other stuff. But I used to really like Instagram. And they made one change that I've complained about on the show before, and they know what they did and they will not change it. Do you know what it is?
I don't know, man. Jeez, I don't want to be the wrong one.
No, it's they will not allow you to just have things pop up in the order that they show up. They have to curate it. They do their algorithm. It used to be you could have a chronological timeline. Things show up in the order they show up. And they show up in the amount that people upload them.
Well, you mean like
if I go on Instagram right now, the most recent post might be from yesterday because they think that's the one I should see rather than the one that was just put up recently. Now, you could do either of those two things. You could allow people to just follow who they want and get the posts when they're posted, but that like respects them as individuals and assumes that they're making intentional choices. Or you can make it all about the algorithm, and that's how you get a bunch of this stuff. Because they're choosing ones they think you should want. They're encouraging you to see these things. They're boosting certain types of content and not others. It's all BS. What would save, to a large degree, a lot of this stuff is just getting rid of the damn algorithms. Like, you don't need to figure out what percentage of, like I follow MKBHD on YouTube. Just send me his videos when he posts them. And if he posts too many, I'll stop following him. It's not on you to decide whether I need to see 30% of them or 60% of them. I follow the people that I want to follow them, and I want to see their videos when they post them. These are very simple things, but you don't sell a bunch of ads and you don't do all the stuff that they want from a business perspective by focusing on the algorithm.
So maybe the whole point then being, they want to make sure people don't, they don't miss something from their person they want, or if you do like their stuff,
then so much from this.
Hit the ringer.
Because by the time it's up, it's like I feel creepy commenting on some of the stuff they post for me because it's too old. So if I ever comment on your old stuff, that's why. It's the algorithm. Anyway.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but look, there's serious issues that have been revealed. Everyone watching this, we got to move on, but you should definitely check out the Wall Street Journal analysis and the New York Times write-up about their strategy to push pro Facebook news in front of you. Zuckerberg responded to it, and to give you an idea of how seriously he's taking this, They criticized that photo of him on a surfboard, and he responded to that saying they were spreading fake news because it was actually a paddleboard. Go screw yourself, Mark Zuckerberg, honestly. Like, you are wrecking, people are committing suicide in no small part thanks to the pressure that's put on them by all this BS. And he's making jokes about wakeboards and stuff.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.